Movie Fanatic.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Movie Fanatic review. Movie Fanatic is a playlist on the Depressed Ramen Noodles channel where you will see film reviews of different films I have seen in theaters. Today's review is going to be a little different than the others, and that is because today's film review is on the film Rocky Horror Picture Show, directed by Jim Sharman. Today we'll be reviewing both the film and the experience you get with it viewing it live. For anyone who has never seen the film before, here is a brief synopsis. In this cult classic, sweethearts Brad and Janet, stuck with a flat tire during a storm, discover the eerie mansion of Dr. Frankenfurter, a transvestite scientist. As their innocence is lost, Brad and Janet meet a house full of wild characters, including a rocking biker and a creepy butler. Through elaborate dances and rock songs, Frankenfurter unveils his latest creation, a muscular man named Rocky. On to the film review of the film itself. This is why I gave it 4.5 stars. Number 1, actors. I think the casting director made some really good choices on who was going to play who, especially casting Tim Curry as Frankenfurter. Tim Curry is one of my absolute favorite actors, and he once again put on a performance that I'll never forget. Next to playing Pennywise in the first It film, I think Frankenfurter is actually one of his most known characters. Number 2, cinematography. I think the shots I enjoyed most were the crane shot when coming closer to Frankenfurter when he's creating Rocky. It brings the silliness into the film even more, and I just love it. I also like the underwater shots. I thought they were pretty cool. There is another shot where Eddie is riding his motorcycle around, and the camera gives us a POV shot of Eddie riding the bike, and we see all the partygoers fleeing for their lives, and I quite enjoyed seeing that as well. Number 3, silliness. The entire film was silly and weird in terms of the storyline. It's not a movie for kids kind of silly, but it does bring a good laugh from the adults who watch the film, especially if you're watching it in a big theater where people are participating, which we'll cover later in the video. There are a lot of jokes in the film, and if it's your first time seeing it, you may not understand all of them at once, but once you do see the film and see it a couple times, you will understand it more. The one reason I didn't give the film 5 stars was the storyline. The storyline doesn't make a whole lot of sense exactly, it's just a lot to process. Even trying to explain it to people who have never seen the film, it's hard to describe what it is exactly about. I find it even more difficult if the person I'm talking to about the film has extreme beliefs on the subject of people who cross-dress or like to do what Frankenfurter does. It can be extremely difficult explaining what it's about to them, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything, it's just a little strange when someone who has extreme beliefs on that kind of subject is interested in seeing a film like this. And to be honest, I don't really think it's a film that they would particularly enjoy. Now onto the rating of the experience. I give it 5 stars, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, there are many theaters that will show the film and the audience participates by throwing stuff at the screen and yelling different funny sayings at the screen as well. Some theaters will also have people act out the film on stage while the film is playing on the screen. If it's your first time seeing the film in the theater, you are what we like to consider a Rocky Horror virgin, and you will be, in a sense, losing your Rocky Horror virginity while watching the film. For anyone who gets upset at the events because they couldn't hear what the film was saying, that isn't the point. At the theater, it's not meant to be quiet and just to be watched. It's supposed to be loud and people are going to yell.
Well, really? That's no way to behave on your first day out.
Of the closet!
Say goodbye to all of this.
Goodbye, all of this!
And hello
Hello!
to oblivion.
Hi,
Oblivion! How's the wife and kids?
I saw the film at the Fargo Theater, and there were prop bags we could buy, so when it was raining out and Janet comes out with a newspaper, we all had newspaper on our heads, and it was great. We also threw toilet paper, toast, and playing cards at the screen. And if you're not careful, it'll hit your head.
Great Scott!
Now that we have the reviews out of the way, here are some fun facts about the film. Number 1, it began as a way to keep an unemployed actor busy. Number 2, Richard O'Brien originally wanted to play Eddie, but that role ended up going to Meatloaf, so he ended up with the role of Riff Raff. Number 3, Columbia and Magenta were originally one character. Number 4, Little Nell was cast for her tap dancing skills alone. What qualifies you to be in this film?
I can tap dance.
You're hired.
Number 5, Dr. Frankenfurter originally had a German accent. Number 6, science fiction double feature had a different singer for the film. Patricia Quinn sung it for the stage, but when it came to the film, it was sung by Richard O'Brien. Number 7. The director agreed to a smaller budget in order to keep the original cast from the stage, with some exceptions to certain roles. Number 8. Much of the film's look was inspired by an actual rotting mansion. Number 9. A large portion of the film was supposed to be in black and white. They kind of wanted to do what Wizard of Oz did, where the film would start out in black and white, and then once Brad and Janet meet Dr. Frankenfurter, that was when it was going to be in color. But the studio rejected the idea. Number 10. The film's famous audience participation was inspired in part by boredom. Number 11. Tim Curry was once kicked out of a screening for being an imposter. Okay. Number 12. Princess Diana was a fan of the film. Yep. You heard that right. That concludes this Movie Fanatic review. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and be sure to check out other videos on this channel as well. Also, if you're a fan of video games, I do guides of different video games on my personal channel, Primetime Game Time. Be sure to check that out on the channel as well. Check out that channel as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.